He never believed in love. To him, marriage was just a business deal. But what if one contract changed everything? What if the woman he paid to be his fake bride became the only person he couldn't live without? A dark alley where Emily Walker, a struggling young woman, clutches an eviction notice, eyes filled with desperation. She had nothing. No home. No hope. Until fate offered her a dangerous bargain. Montage of Emily wandering the streets, shivering in the cold. Suddenly, a sleek black car pulls up beside her. The window rolls down, revealing Adrian's piercing gaze. "Adrian, get in. I have a proposal for you." Emily hesitates, but with no other options, she steps inside. The car drives off into the night. Adrian leans back in his chair, studying Emily like a chess piece. "Adrian, 1 year. Pretend to be my wife. In exchange, I'll pay off your debts and set you up for life." "Emily, why me?" Adrian smirks. "Because I don't trust anyone. And you? You have nothing to lose." Emily's hands tremble as she stares at the contract. Her mind screams no, but her circumstances whispers. Emily walks down the aisle in a breathtaking dress, her heart pounding. The guests whisper, "Who is this unknown woman marrying the billionaire?" A deal was signed, vows exchanged, but what they didn't know was that this game had already begun to change them. A future scene. Emily trapped in Adrian's arms, tears in her eyes. "Emily, this was never supposed to be real." Adrian whispers, desperate. "Then why does it feel like it is?" Love wasn't part of the contract, but some things can't be controlled. He never believed in love. To him, marriage was just a business deal. But what if one contract changed everything? What if the woman he paid to be his fake bride became the only person he couldn't live without? A dark alley where Emily Walker, a struggling young woman, clutches an eviction notice, eyes filled with desperation. She had nothing. No home. No hope. Until fate offered her a dangerous bargain. A grand mansion. Emily steps inside hesitantly, staring at the vast space filled with marble floors, high ceilings and cold luxury. Adrian stands behind her, watching her reaction. "Adrian, from today this is your home. But remember, this is a contract, not a real marriage." Emily clenches her fists, nodding. She knows the rules. But something about the way he looks at her makes her wonder, will they ever be just rules? At the dinner table, the atmosphere is tense. Emily, dressed in a simple yet elegant dress, sits across from Adrian. He barely acknowledges her, scrolling through his phone. "Emily, are we going to pretend we don't exist in the same house?" Adrian, without looking up, "Exactly." Emily exhales, forcing herself to stay calm. If this is how he wants to play it, fine. But she's not the type to fade into the background. A charity gala. Emily walks beside Adrian, uncomfortable in the spotlight. Reporters whisper, cameras flash. A woman in a red dress approaches. Catherine Monroe, Adrian's ex-fiancée. Catherine, smirking, "So this is your wife. How adorable." Emily stiffens. Adrian's expression darkens, but before he can speak, Emily lifts her chin, meeting Catherine's gaze. "Emily." "Yes. And trust me, he has no complaints." Catherine's smirk fades. Adrian raises an eyebrow, impressed but unreadable. Emily, however, feels her heart pound. She doesn't know why she just defended him. But she did. That night, Emily walks through the mansion, lost in thought. Suddenly, a strong hand catches her wrist. She turns. Adrian stands close, too close. Adrian, low voice, "That was unexpected." Emily swallows, caught in his piercing gaze. "Emily." "What?" "Adrian, the way you stood up for me. That wasn't part of the deal." Long pause. The air between them changes. Neither moves, neither breathes. Something is shifting. She was just supposed to be his fake bride. But why is she the only one making his heart race? A bright morning in the mansion's dining hall. Emily, now dressed in a casual yet elegant outfit, sits at the large dining table. The chef serves a gourmet breakfast, but Adrian doesn't even glance at her as he sips his black coffee. Emily murmuring, "So, this is how it's going to be." Silence every morning. Adrian coldly without looking up. "You signed up for this, remember?" Emily clenches her jaw, stabbing her fork into a piece of fruit. She knows this is a contract, but she refuses to feel invisible. A high-end boutique. Emily hesitates as assistants swarm her, handing her designer dresses and heels. Adrian watches her from a distance, arms crossed. "Adrian, you'll be attending events with me. Dress accordingly." Emily stares at the expensive gowns, feeling out of place. "Emily, I don't need your money to dress myself." Adrian raising an eyebrow. "Then consider it an investment. My wife needs to look the part." Something about the way he says, "my wife," makes Emily's heartbeat quicken. She hates it. A charity ball. The ballroom is filled with chandeliers and classical music. Adrian and Emily arrive, and all eyes turn to them. Catherine Monroe watches from across the room, smirking. Catherine. "Oh look, the contract bride is playing dress-up." Emily ignores her, standing tall. Suddenly, Adrian turns to her, extending a hand. "Adrian, dance with me." Emily, startled, "What? We don't have to." Adrian, firmly. "It's part of the act, remember?" Emily places her hand in his, and he pulls her onto the dance floor. As they move, their bodies close, Emily realizes something. His touch isn't cold this time. Later that night, Emily steps onto the mansion's balcony, taking in the city lights. Adrian joins her, standing beside her in silence. "Adrian, you handled yourself well tonight." Emily. "Because I didn't break character." He doesn't answer. Instead, he watches her, something unreadable in his eyes. Before Emily can say more, a voice interrupts. Catherine from behind. "You should be careful, Emily. Falling for Adrian Blackwood is a dangerous mistake." Emily turns, but Catherine is already walking away, her heels clicking against the marble floor. Was this just a game? Or were the rules starting to change? Emily wakes up in her luxurious bedroom in the mansion, sunlight streaming through the large windows. She stretches, still thinking about Catherine's words from the night before. Suddenly, there's a knock on the door. Before she can answer, Adrian steps inside, dressed in his usual sharp suit. "Adrian, be ready in an hour. We have a public appearance to make." Emily groggily. "Good morning to you too." Adrian raising an eyebrow. "This isn't a real marriage, Emily. You don't get morning pleasantries." Emily clenches her jaw, watching him leave. The way he dismisses her so easily fuels something inside her. Determination. Or something more dangerous. A high-profile charity event at an art gallery. Expensive paintings line the walls, and guests dressed in elegant attire sip champagne. Adrian and Emily arrive, looking like the perfect couple, at least to outsiders. As they move through the crowd, Adrian places a firm hand on Emily's lower back, guiding her. The touch sends an unexpected shiver through her. Emily, softly sarcastic, "Oh, now I'm your wife in public." Adrian, leaning in slightly, his voice low, "Play your part, sweetheart." Emily's breath hitches. His tone is smooth, almost teasing, but his expression remains unreadable. Catherine watches from across the room, swirling her wine glass, her eyes narrowing at the closeness between them. The event shifts to a ballroom setting, music playing softly in the background. Emily is about to excuse herself when Adrian extends his hand, just like last time. Emily, hesitant again. "Adrian, they expect it." She places her hand in his, and they step onto the dance floor. But this time something is different. His grip is firm, his movements smooth, but there's a certain ease between them now. "Emily, why do you always look at me like that?" Adrian, without missing a beat, "Like what?" Emily, "Like you're trying to figure me out." Adrian, smirking slightly, "Maybe I am." Emily's heart pounds. The air between them is charged, and for the first time, she wonders if she's truly pretending anymore. As the event ends, Emily steps outside to get some air. She's still trying to make sense of what she felt during the dance. Suddenly, a black car pulls up, and a man in a suit approaches her. Mysterious man. You should leave Adrian Blackwood while you still can. Emily freezes. Emily. Excuse me. Mysterious man, low voice, serious. You don't know the kind of enemies he has. If you stay by his side, you won't survive. What secret is Adrian hiding? And is Emily already too deep to escape? Emily stands frozen on the dimly lit street, her heart racing from the stranger's warning. The mysterious man steps closer, his voice low. Mysterious man. You need to leave before it's too late. Adrian Blackwood isn't the man you think he is. Emily's breath catches, but before she can respond, headlights flood the street. Sleek black car pulls up. The door opens. Adrian steps out, his expression unreadable. Adrian coldly. Get in the car, Emily. She hesitates, glancing at the mysterious man. But one look at Adrian's hardened gaze tells her she has no choice. She slips into the car, Adrian following, his presence suffocating. Inside the mansion, Adrian slams the door shut. Emily whirls to face him, her voice trembling with frustration. Emily. Who was that man? What was he talking about? Adrian, firmly. Stay out of things you don't understand. Emily steps closer, eyes blazing. Emily. Then make me understand. You're always keeping secrets, Adrian. What are you hiding from me? Adrian stares at her for a long moment. Then, suddenly, he steps closer. Too close. Adrian, low voice. You think you want answers, Emily, but trust me, you don't. His words send a shiver through her. For the first time, she sees something deeper behind his cold blue eyes. A hint of something raw. Something broken. That night, Emily tosses in bed, haunted by nightmares. In her dreams, she hears gunshots, sees flashes of Adrian. His hands covered in blood, his expression void of emotion. She wakes with a gasp, heart hammering. A shadow moves in the doorway. She sits up quickly. Adrian stands there watching her. Adrian quietly. You screamed in your sleep. Emily swallows, shaken. She doesn't know why, but she whispers back. Emily. Did I? Adrian steps forward. The moonlight casts sharp shadows across his face. For the first time he looks human. Adrian, softly. You shouldn't be afraid of me, Emily. But as he turns to leave, Emily isn't sure if he's trying to convince her, or himself. The next morning, Emily can't shake the feeling that something is terribly wrong. She searches Adrian's study while he's away, her hands trembling as she rifles through locked drawers. Suddenly, she finds a file with her name on it. Heart pounding, she flips it open, and her world tilts. Inside are photos of her. Not recent ones, but ones from years ago, before she ever met Adrian. What does Adrian know about Emily's past? And why has he been watching her for years? Emily grips the file, her hands shaking. Photos of her from years ago stare back at her. Pictures taken before she ever met Adrian. She hears footsteps behind her. She turns sharply, finding Adrian standing in the doorway, his face unreadable. Adrian quietly. I warned you not to dig into things, Emily. She clutches the file to her chest, her voice laced with anger. Emily. You've been watching me for years. Why? What are you hiding? Adrian steps forward, his gaze intense. Adrian. I was trying to protect you. Emily lets out a bitter laugh. Emily. Protect me. From what? From you. His jaw tightens, and for the first time, she sees something flicker in his icy blue eyes. Guilt. That night, Adrian stands on the balcony, staring at the city skyline. His mind is restless, haunted by memories he can't erase. His grip tightens around a whiskey glass. A younger Adrian stands in the rain, watching a frightened teenage Emily from afar as she's taken into an orphanage. A man beside Adrian whispers, "She can never know the truth." Back in the present, Adrian's expression hardens. He knows that keeping secrets has only made things worse. But telling Emily the truth could destroy everything. Meanwhile, Catherine Monroe, the woman who once thought she'd be Adrian's wife, sits in a dimly lit restaurant, her red lips curving into a smirk. Across from her, a man in a dark suit slides a folder across the table. Man. If she finds out, she'll leave him. Are you sure you want to do this? Catherine's eyes gleam with malice. Catherine. Oh, I'm counting on it. She opens the folder, her smirk widening as she reads the document that holds the key to destroying Adrian Blackwood's carefully built world. Back at the mansion, Emily paces in her room, the weight of the file suffocating her. She knows Adrian is hiding something huge. She knows she can't just let it go. She grabs her coat and heads for the door, determined to find answers on her own. Before she can leave, she collides with Adrian, his strong hands gripping her arms. Adrian, low voice, "Where are you going?" Emily lifts her chin, meeting his gaze head-on. Emily. To find out the truth. With or without you. What secret has Adrian been hiding all these years? And will Emily survive the truth when she finds it? Emily stands in front of Adrian, her breath coming in shallow gasps. He blocks the door, his presence overwhelming. His voice is quiet but firm. Adrian. You can't leave. Emily. Then tell me the truth. His jaw clenches. He hesitates, then steps aside. A sign that she's won, at least for now. Emily sits at Adrian's desk, flipping through old documents. A black and white photo catches her eye. Her as a child, standing next to a man who looks eerily similar to Adrian. Her fingers tighten around the paper. She turns to Adrian, who watches her from the shadows. Emily. Why do you have these? What are you not telling me? Adrian quietly. Because your past is connected to mine, Emily. In ways you don't remember. A chill runs down her spine. Catherine walks into Adrian's office the next morning, her smile sharp as a blade. Catherine. I have something you'll want to see, Emily. She hands over a sealed envelope. Emily hesitates before opening it. Inside is a document, a legal record tying Adrian to an event from years ago. Her hands tremble as she reads. Emily whispering, "This can't be true." Catherine's smirk deepens. Catherine. Oh, but it is. The man you married isn't who you think he is. That night, Emily sits alone in their bedroom, staring at the document in her lap. Adrian enters, his eyes searching hers. Adrian. Whatever she told you. Emily, cutting him off, is it true? He hesitates. And that hesitation is enough. A tear slips down Emily's cheek as she stands, grabbing her bag. Adrian. Where are you going? Emily, whispering, "Somewhere far away from you." Black screen. A slow, fading heartbeat sound. Narrator. Will Emily walk away for good, or will she uncover the full truth before it's too late? Emily drags her suitcase down the grand staircase, her heart pounding. Adrian watches from the shadows, his jaw tight, his fists clenched. Adrian, low, desperate, "Don't do this, Emily." Emily, without turning, "You left me no choice." She swings the door open and steps into the night, the cold wind hitting her face. She doesn't look back. She can't. Emily hails a cab and gives the driver an address, one Adrian doesn't know. But as the car pulls away, a black SUV follows at a distance. The camera cuts to the driver of the SUV, a man in a dark suit, his face partially hidden. He smirks before making a call. Man. She's alone. Just like you wanted. A chilling pause. Voice on phone. Good. Make sure she doesn't reach her destination. Emily arrives at a quiet hotel and checks in. She locks the door behind her, her hands trembling. She sinks onto the bed, pressing her fingers to her temples. Emily, whispering, "What have I gotten myself into?" Suddenly, a loud knock at the door startles her. Her breath catches. Unknown voice. Miss Walker, open up. We need to talk. Her pulse races. She steps back, reaching for her phone, only to realize her battery is dead. Back at the mansion, Adrian stands in his dimly lit office, his mind racing. He glances at his phone, hesitating before dialing a number. Adrian. Where is she? There's a long silence before the voice on the other end chuckles. Voice. You should have kept her close, Blackwood. Now. She belongs to us. Adrian's grip on the phone tightens. His entire body goes cold. Adrian whispering, furious, if you touch her I swear I'll. Blick. The call disconnects. Adrian's heart slams against his ribs as he grabs his car keys. Adrian to himself, I'm coming for you, Emily. Black screen. A slow heartbeat sound. She ran to escape the lies, but ran straight into danger. Can Adrian reach her before it's too late? Emily presses her back against the hotel door, her heartbeat echoing in her ears. The knocking grows louder. Unknown voice. Open the door, Miss Walker. We just want to talk. She grabs a lamp from the bedside table, ready to defend herself. Silence. Then, the sound of a key turning in the lock. Emily's eyes widen. She was followed. She bolts for the bathroom, but the door swings open. A tall man in a dark suit steps inside. His smirk cold. Man. You shouldn't have run. Adrian speeds through the city, gripping the steering wheel so tight his knuckles turn white. His phone rings. Adrian. Tell me you found her. Jason, his head of security. The hotel's a setup. Someone lured her there on purpose. Adrian's pulse spikes. His worst fear is coming true. Adrian. Find out who's behind this. I don't care what it takes. He hangs up, eyes flashing with raw determination. Adrian whispering, hold on, Emily. I'm coming. Emily is shoved into a dimly lit warehouse, her wrists tied. Her captor paces in front of her, a satisfied smirk on his face. Emily, breathless, who are you? What do you want? The man leans in, his voice chilling. Man. You were never supposed to be in his life. And now. Your leverage. Emily's stomach twists. This isn't just about her. It's about Adrian. Emily whispering, you're making a mistake. Man smirking, no, sweetheart. You did. When you fell in love with Adrian Blackwood. Adrian storms into his office, where Catherine is sipping champagne, looking far too pleased. Catherine. You always underestimated me, Adrian. Adrian slams his fists onto the desk, making the glasses rattle. Adrian. Where is she? Catherine smirks, swirling her drink. Catherine. You think you're the only one who knows how to play this game. Adrian's entire body stiffens. He realizes, this wasn't just about revenge. This was personal. He leans in, his voice lethal. Adrian. If anything happens to her, Catherine, you'll wish you never met me. Catherine's smirk falters for the first time. The game has changed. The sound of a ticking clock. Time is running out. Will Adrian find Emily before it's too late? Or has he already lost the woman he never thought he'd love? Emily sits in the dimly lit warehouse, her wrists bound, her heart pounding. Her captor, the suited man, paces before her, phone in hand. Man. Adrian is coming for you. But will he be fast enough? Emily glares at him, refusing to show fear. Emily. You don't know him like I do. He'll find me. The man chuckles, crouching to her level. Man. That's what I'm counting on. Adrian storms into the warehouse district. His gun gripped tightly. Jason, his security lead, follows close behind. Jason. We have a visual on her location. There are at least 5 armed men inside. Adrian's jaw tightens. His eyes darken with fury. Adrian. Then we take them out. All of them. Without hesitation, he moves toward the building, determination burning in his veins. The captors hear the commotion outside. Gunfire, shouts. The lead captor curses, grabbing Emily by the arm. Man, looks like your knight in shining armor is here. Let's see if he can save you in time. He pulls a gun from his holster, pressing it to Emily's temple. She gasps, her body trembling. Just then the door bursts open. Adrian steps inside, gun raised, his eyes burning with lethal rage. Adrian, let her go. The captor smirks. Man. Or what? You'll risk shooting her. Emily's eyes lock onto Adrian's, silently pleading. He doesn't hesitate. With a calculated move he fires, aiming for the captor's shoulder. The man cries out, dropping the gun. Emily stumbles forward. Adrian is there, catching her, pulling her tightly into his arms. Adrian whispering, "I've got you." They rush outside as Jason's team finishes securing the area. The night air is crisp, filled with tension and relief. Emily clings to Adrian, her body shaking. He cups her face, searching her eyes. Adrian, you're safe now. Emily exhales shakily, pressing her forehead against his. Emily, I was so scared, but I knew you'd come. Adrian brushes a tear from her cheek. Adrian, I almost lost you. I won't let that happen again. Their lips meet, urgent, desperate, full of emotions neither can put into words. He risked everything for her. But is this truly the end, or just the beginning of another storm? Emily and Adrian sit in the back of his car, speeding away from the warehouse. Emily's hands are still trembling as Adrian wraps his coat around her. Adrian, softly, you're safe now. I swear, no one will ever hurt you again. Emily looks at him, tears brimming in her eyes. Emily, you came for me. Even after everything. Adrian cups her face, his thumb brushing away her tears. Adrian, I'd cross the world for you, Emily. I didn't just come to save you. I came because I can't imagine a life without you. Her breath catches. She's seen many sides of Adrian. Cold, ruthless, powerful, but this moment, this is the man she loves. A few days later, Adrian brings Emily to his private estate, a place only he has ever called home. They sit by the fireplace, a soft rain pattering outside. Emily rests her head on Adrian's shoulder, their hands entwined. Emily whispering, I used to think love was a fairy tale. Something that never lasted. Adrian. And now? Emily lifts her gaze, meeting his. Emily. Now I know true love is when someone chooses you. Over and over again. No matter what. Adrian exhales, as if she just put into words everything he's ever wanted to say. He leans in, pressing a slow, lingering kiss to her lips, one filled with unspoken promises. The camera pulls back to reveal a sleek black car parked outside the estate. Inside, a woman in a dark coat watches the house, her eyes sharp. Woman on phone, Emily Walker is still alive. And Adrian Blackwood is falling too deep. Voice on phone. Then it's time we remind him, love makes men weak. They've found love, but will they be able to keep it? A new storm is coming. And this time it might destroy everything. Emily and Adrian stand by the lake at his estate, the evening breeze brushing against them. Emily smiles, finally feeling at peace, until the sound of a gun being cocked shatters the moment. They turn to find the mysterious woman from the black car, holding a pistol aimed at Adrian. Woman, you should have stayed out of the game, Adrian. Emily's heart pounds as Adrian steps in front of her protectively. Adrian, you don't want to do this. Woman smirking, oh, but I do. Love makes men weak. And you, Adrian Blackwood, are no longer untouchable. Just as she pulls the trigger, a shot rings out, but it's not hers. She gasps, clutching her shoulder and collapses. Jason emerges from the shadows, lowering his own gun. Jason, you really should hire better assassins. Emily exhales shakily as Adrian pulls her into his arms. Adrian, softly, it's over. A month later, Emily walks down the aisle in a breathtaking white gown. The sun filters through the chapel's stained glass windows as Adrian stands at the altar, waiting for her with love shining in his eyes. When she reaches him, he takes her hands in his voice thick with emotion. Adrian, from the moment you crashed into my life, nothing has been the same. I was a man who never believed in love, until you. Emily's eyes glisten as she smiles. Emily. And I was a woman who never believed I was worthy of love, until you. As they exchange vows, their love story, full of danger, heartbreak and passion, finally finds its perfect ending. Priest smiles. Priest, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Adrian cups Emily's face and kisses her deeply as their friends and family erupt into applause. A few years later, Adrian and Emily sit on their balcony, watching the sunset. Emily rests her head against his chest, his arm wrapped around her. Emily, smiling, did you ever think we'd end up here? Adrian, kissing her forehead, no. But I wouldn't change a single moment. Because every twist, every challenge, it led me to you. Emily places her hand over his, their wedding rings glinting in the light. In the distance, laughter echoes from inside their home, the sound of their little girl playing. Adrian and Emily share a knowing look, their hearts full. They fought for their love, and they won. And so, the billionaire who never believed in love, and the woman who thought she wasn't meant for it, found their forever.